Episode 3: The Unexpected Gifts of Learning English. As I continued to use English in my daily life, I started to notice something unexpected. Learning this language wasn't just helping me communicate with others, it was changing the way I saw the world. It made me more open to new ideas, more curious about different cultures, and more confident in myself. Before I started learning English, I felt like my world was small. I was comfortable in my little village, with my family and friends, speaking only my native language. But once I started learning English, it felt like the world had opened up to me. One of the most beautiful surprises was how learning a new language made me appreciate my own language more. I began to see connections between the two. Words and expressions that I had taken for granted in my native language took on new meanings when I compared them to their English equivalents. This deepened my understanding of both languages, and I became more aware of how language shapes the way we think. Meeting people from around the world. As my English improved, I became more active in online communities where people from different countries could practice languages together. It was amazing to be part of conversations with people from places I had only read about: Japan, Brazil, Germany, Egypt, and many more. We would talk about our cultures, share music, recipes, and traditions, all in English. Through these conversations, I learned that language isn't just about words. It's about understanding other people's perspectives and learning to see the world through their eyes. One time, I had a conversation with a girl from Japan about how they celebrate New Year's. I found it fascinating that they have such different traditions compared to what we do in my village. We also talked about our favorite foods, and I remember thinking how wonderful it was that I could have this exchange, all thanks to English. These friendships also made me realize how similar we all are, no matter where we come from. We may speak different languages and have different customs, but at the core, we all share the same dreams, hopes, and fears. English became a tool for me to connect with people on a deeper level, and those connections have been one of the greatest rewards of this journey. Facing fears and overcoming challenges. One of the hardest parts of my journey was overcoming the fear of making mistakes. Even after speaking English for a while, I still worried about saying the wrong thing or using the wrong tense. Sometimes I would replay conversations in my head, thinking about how I could have said something better. But then I realized something important. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is. Every time I made a mistake, I learned something new. And the people I spoke with, whether they were friends or strangers, were almost always understanding. They knew I was learning, and many of them were learning English too, so we helped each other. There was one particular moment that stands out to me. I was speaking to a group of English speakers at an event, and I used the wrong word in a sentence. Immediately, I felt embarrassed and wanted to stop talking. But one of the people smiled and said, "Don't worry, we know what you mean." It was such a small gesture, but it gave me the confidence to keep going. That's when I realized that learning a language isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about being brave enough to try. Each mistake is a step toward becoming more fluent, more confident, and more connected to the world around you. Finding my own voice in English. As I became more fluent, something amazing happened. I started to feel like I could express myself in English as freely as I did in my native language. I wasn't just translating words in my head anymore. I was thinking in English, dreaming in English, and even joking in English. I remember the first time I made someone laugh with a joke I told in English. It was a simple joke, nothing special, but the fact that I could make someone smile using a language I had struggled with for so long was such a powerful moment for me. This made me realize that language is more than just a tool for communication. It's also a way to express who we are. As I grew more comfortable with English, I found my own voice in it. I could share my thoughts, my ideas, my sense of humor. English wasn't just something I was learning, it was becoming a part of who I was. Looking to the future now, I look ahead with excitement. Learning English has not only given me practical skills, it has opened up a world of opportunities. I want to travel more, meet new people, and continue to grow as a person. I also want to keep improving my English. There's always more to learn, and I love that about it. I've also started thinking about ways I can help others who are just starting their English journey. I know how hard it can be, how frustrating it feels when you're stuck on a word or can't understand something. But I also know how rewarding it is when things finally click. Maybe one day I'll teach English to others, just like so many people helped me along the way. Final thoughts. If there's one thing I've learned on this journey, it's that learning a language is not just about memorizing words and grammar rules. It's about embracing a new way of thinking, opening yourself up to new experiences, and connecting with people in ways you never imagined. English has become more than just a skill for me. It's a door to endless possibilities. And my journey isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. There are still so many conversations to have, so many books to read, and so many places to explore. And with English as my companion, I'm ready for whatever comes next. For anyone else who is learning English, I hope my story encourages you to keep going. There will be challenges, and there will be moments when you feel like giving up. But I promise you, it's worth it. Every step you take brings you closer to unlocking new opportunities, meeting new people, and discovering new parts of yourself. So keep learning, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. You're on an amazing adventure, one that will change your life in ways you can't even imagine.